My name is Vladimir, and I founded Overcome the Barrier in 2008, right after I got let go from Goldman Sachs, where I was working in tax reporting group. I was able to take away something from that job and introduce it to language teaching. I first sat down on front of the computer with my first client and I started typing everything that the client said in column A of Excel. And then I copied and pasted it to column B and I made the corrections. When we later had to hire teachers remotely, we transitioned to Google Documents and connected them via Skype. This allowed us to provide continuous feedback to learners and teachers, as well as track changes on a lesson by lesson basis. And that provided us with the ability to report these um, progress to the paying party. We primarily focused on B2B sector, and as we started gaining momentum, we got an investment from Rashid Kusimbayev in the amount of $200,000. Unfortunately, in 2014, the oil prices collapsed, and most of the clients decided to cut their cost. Essentially, we've become a Fitbit of online language training. During the same time, we decided to invest in developing our own platform. And as we developed it, we realized that perhaps it's time to reconsider and enter and start targeting B2C sector and B2G sectors. The problems in each of these sectors is that as soon as the students and teachers realize that there is no need to continue to pay the provider, they stop doing that. But government, like schools K through 12, the problem is that there's a lot of waste, lack of effectiveness and efficiency, and we're failing to fill that gap. After 8 years of working on B2B sector, we've developed a pretty good traction with large multinationals. Again, through providing continuous feedback on a lesson by lesson basis and being able to analyze big data to help these learners sustain motivation. Without any further ado, I'd like to demonstrate to you how the lessons work. The way we want to target our B2C sector is and actually B2G sector. Instead of going after the students, we'll go after the teachers who post their information online looking for the clients. And instead of decreasing their income, we will have them increase their revenue by giving them an 80-20 split. Yes, there's a bunch of competition, the disruptives that lack teacher interaction. Just ask Charles Barkley after him trying to learn Spanish with Rosetta Stone. Our biggest competitors are probably Marketplace, but again, they try to decrease teachers' pay by taking the commission, and we will be actually increases teachers' rate. Yes, there are incumbents, but they don't have the tracking tools and ability to analyze big data. Open English has raised a lot of money, but they mostly wasted it on marketing, and average learner is pretty dissatisfied with this service. Basically, we want to become a software as a service where we will offer freemium subscription base to our teachers who will then solicit their teachers and after a handful of lessons convince them to pay, and we will keep only 25 cents per lesson. On B2G sector, instead, we'll be partner up with schools that have credibility in their local countries, and we will use that brand name to offer languages and help them generate revenue at the same time. We predict that the teachers will have roughly about 15 students who take about 6 classes on average. And here's the math of about 2.5 cents per lesson. The added value to the teachers is estimated again at roughly $500 per month, and the value for the students or customers is even larger because if we compare to the ultimate way to become fluent in a foreign language by moving to another country, it costs a lot more money than taking and paying $15 an hour to the teacher and study remotely. The ultimate size of the market is 1.5 billion students, estimated at roughly $193 billion in 2017. As I mentioned, I have experience in accounting and finance. Rashid has put in $200,000. It helped Bradley to help us to develop our platform. But most recently, we've added Takahara Tezuka, a famous Japanese architect, who will be helping us with penetrating B2G sector, as well as Stefan Eckert, who has extensive experience as a human resource director at a large pharmaceutical company in Japan. We recently released our beta platform, data tracking tools to HR to track progress. That's B2B. We've introduced a swap feature for group classes, released updated user panel experience to students, which is supposed to be happening next week. And in June, we'll start discussion with Tokyo City about partnering up to offer our service. And in November, we'll be targeting the teachers. Any questions?